In 1980, a single paycheck from a Pennsylvania factory floor was enough to build a life. A worker earning $14,000 a year could afford a three-bedroom house, raise two children, and secure a pension. Today, in that exact same town, a salary of over $70,000 often leaves a family struggling to stay afloat. We are often told that this financial pressure is the result of poor personal choices, that we just need to budget better or cut back on small luxuries. That looking at the raw data suggests a different story. To see why the modern paycheck feels so much thinner, we have to run the actual numbers. Understanding these shifting costs reveals the true scale of the challenge facing the modern Pennsylvania worker. Housing is the traditional engine of the middle class. In 1980, a median home in Pennsylvania cost $47,000. By May 2026, that price reached a record $320,000. Skeptical, older generations often recall surviving the 18% interest rates of the early 80s, but the math of the principle tells a harder truth. Financing $47,000 on a $14,000 wage is easier to manage than carrying a $320,000 debt on a modern average salary. The modern buyer is financing a much larger debt, while their purchasing power has stalled. Pennsylvania also carries a specific tax burden, a property tax rate of 1.35%, combined with a system where counties can go decades without updating home valuations. In Mercer County, a 2026 reassessment is currently resetting values for the first time since 1971. For many, this results in a sudden financial shock, as taxes catch up to 5 decades of market growth in a single night. Beyond taxes, modern homeowners face what's known as a shadow mortgage, mandatory HOA fees, and spikes in deregulated heating utilities that create a relentless monthly drain. These combined costs have changed homeownership from a reliable way to build wealth into a heavy monthly liability. Once the housing costs are paid, the friction of daily life begins to claim what's left of the salary. In 1980, a cart full of staples was a minor expense. Today, the combination of inflation and corporate shrinkflation means stocking the fridge consumes a significant portion of a weekly paycheck. Even getting to work is more expensive. The accessible used car market of 1980 has been replaced by high-priced vehicles, predatory auto loans, and some of the highest gas taxes in the country. Healthcare adds another layer of pressure. Astronomical out-of-pocket deductibles mean a single medical emergency can erase a year of savings, leaving workers tied to their jobs just to keep their coverage. Childcare represents a massive financial hit. In Montgomery County, infant care now costs over $19,000 a year. For many families, this is essentially a second mortgage paid just for the privilege of working. Even small interactions are more costly. Aggressive point-of-sale tipping screens allow companies to shift their payroll obligations onto the customer, creating a near-constant tax on public existence. These daily costs, food, travel, and care, act in unison to consume the remainder of a modern paycheck. There are also invisible drains that claim a worker's money before they even see it. The education system, once an affordable stepping stone, has shifted into a debt-driven model. Modern graduates enter the workforce already owing historic balances that take decades to clear. While the state promotes a low 3.07% flat tax, local municipalities often bridge their budget gaps with additional earned income taxes. This quietly lowers the take-home pay before it hits the bank account. The guaranteed pension has also vanished from the private sector. Instead, workers are now responsible for their own retirement, forced to manage 401k accounts in a volatile market. These structural traps ensure many workers start every month at a deficit. To see the full impact, we can look at a final side-by-side comparison. In 1980, the average weekly wage in Pennsylvania was $273. In 2026, it is nearly $1,400. When we subtract modern housing, property taxes, and the shadow mortgage, the 2026 bar shrinks much faster and much further than the 1980 bar ever did. Next, we account for childcare, groceries, travel, student debt, and local taxes. The 1980 paycheck maintains a buffer for savings, while the 2026 bar is whittled down until it disappears into the red. The math illustrates a clear shift. Despite earning a higher nominal wage, the modern worker is seeing their security drained by a combination of these rising costs. The dream of a stable life in the Keystone State didn't disappear because of laziness. It was priced out of reach by a mathematical structure that no longer adds up for the people who live there.